Да.
This plugin really changed the game.
I think it was 15 to 20 minutes in, I realized, wow, I didn't.
And that is only 20% of my sheet music. In this video I will show you how to replace your paper sheet music with an iPad. We will cover the following topics: what kind of app you need, what tablet you need, how to use the app, what kind of foot pedal, and what kind of music stand you should have. This is Wondercello and my name is Vasily Gerasimovich. Before we start, I wanted to say to you guys, do not hesitate to write any questions in the comments. I am really here to help you. And please don't forget to like this video and hit that bell to one or two to show me that this video was helpful and you want to see more interesting content soon. Okay, let's begin. I've been using my iPad for reading sheet music since 2014. It is super practical. I have never regretted switching to a digital version of score. Maybe you still question yourself, should I use an iPad instead of normal printed sheet music? I just can say you it's totally worth it. By the way, if you wonder whether it's a sponsored video or not, it really isn't, obviously. That's why there will be only my personal recommendations. What kind of app you need? There are many different apps out there, but not any of them can compete with Fourschool. In my opinion, it's the best app for reading digital scores. I've been using it since 2014 and I have never had any problems. It has all the necessary tools you need. I will not go too much into detail, you can pick up, but it is super practical. I have never regretted switching to a digital version of score. Maybe you still question yourself, should I use an iPad instead of normal printed sheet music? I just can say you it's totally worth it. By the way, if you wonder whether it's a sponsored video or not, it really isn't, obviously. That's why there will be only my personal recommendations. What kind of app you need? There are many different apps out there, but not any of them can interesting. Get to like this video and hit that bell to one or two to show me that this video was helpful and you want to see more interesting content soon. Okay, let's begin. I've been using my iPad for reading sheet music since 2014. It is super practical. I have never regretted switching to a digital version of score. Maybe you still question yourself, should I use an iPad instead of normal printed sheet music? I just can say you it's totally worth it. By the way, if you wonder whether it's a sponsored video or not, it really isn't, obviously. That's why there will be only my personal recommendations. What kind of app you need? There are many different apps out there, but not any of them can compete with Fourschool. In my opinion, it's the best app for reading digital scores. I've been using it since 2014 and I have never had any problems. It has all the necessary tools you need. I will not go too much into detail. You can find more information online. Fourschool costs around $20, but it's worth every penny and you just have to buy it once. What tablet you need? Well, in this case you have only one possibility to use an iPad. Fourschool is compatible only with Apple. There's no Android version yet, unfortunately. Actually, from my point of view, an iPad is anyway the best choice. For example, my iPad is from 2014, so nearly 7 years old in this moment, and it still works great. About the size, if you have the money, buy the big one, the iPad Pro. If you don't, this size also works great for me. Here, except you are a pianist. How to use the app. How to get your sheet music into Fourschool. Often you cannot find the right sheet music online. There are still many sheet music not available, but that's not an issue at all. You can just take pictures of your sheet music and convert them into a PDF document, or just directly use the function in Fourschool. I would not recommend to use the scanner. It is just so much easier and faster to take a picture with your iPad. I also recommend to convert your pictures to black and white so that you can better read and edit them later. For example, when you want to change a note head or don't like the dynamics written by a composer, you can easily change it then in Fourschool. Backup. What is also very important that you should do regularly backups of your library in Fourschool, because you will lose all your data in case your iPad is stolen or just lost. To do a backup, you can connect your iPad with your computer and use iTunes, or even better, use Dropbox or any other cloud service. and use a backup. You can connect your iPad with your computer and use iTunes, or even better, use Dropbox or any other cloud service. Then you will be able to use all your sheet music from everywhere, even if your iPad is not with you for any reason, because you can then just easily print your sheet music. What kind of foot pedal you need? I've tested many different pedals, and the page turner pedal from a company called Donna is the best in my personal opinion. You can find an Amazon link in the description. This pedal, by the way, is even the cheapest as far as I know at the moment. But just in general, the most important thing about all page turner foot pedals is that you have to feel that you really push the button. Yeah, maybe you can see this. Feel that you really push the button. Yeah, maybe you can see this. So that you can use the pedal without looking at it. Keep it in mind when choosing a foot pedal. What kind of music stand you need? First, you need a special holder for your iPad. It can look like this. Mine is from Graffiti. It's already old, and I'm not sure that they still fit. First, you need a special holder for your iPad. It can look like this. Mine is from Graffiti. It's already old, and I'm not sure that they still sell this kind of case. But I believe you can find some good alternatives. Secondly, you need an iPad stand. I have built my stand by myself. Here you see it. Because the problem is you will not find lightweight stands for iPads. Usually they are rather heavy, but if the weight doesn't matter for you, just buy any iPad stand you like online. If you want to know how to build this kind of iPad stand by yourself, let me know in the comments, then I will make a video about it. You will be surprised how easy it is. So guys, I think that's it. I hope I really could help you somehow. Please don't forget to hit that bell. There will be many cool videos soon. Thanks for watching. This was Vasily Gerasmets of Wonder Cello. See you next time.
Граф определяет, говорит ли человек правду о событиях, своем опыте, прошлом, настоящем, насколько искренне его ответы. Результат выдается по факту замера, анализа различных физиологических изменений во время тестирования. Я задам вам несколько вопросов, на которые вам...
Been in that situation, I'm sure. Now watch this. After you've watched this video, you will never have to worry about another page turn ever again. A few months ago, I started doing weekly live organ recitals here on YouTube on this very organ. Now, as a one-time cathedral organist, I'm used to turning my own pages, and I'm used to playing the important notes and missing out the unimportant notes. But inevitably there are some pieces where that just isn't possible. No matter which hand I used, something important was being missed. So I started to look around online for PDF viewers. At the time I was using a Microsoft Surface, and they required, you know, either scrolling with your finger or tapping the screen like so. A fairly good solution. Then I found an application called Mobile Sheets, which was designed for sheet music, and you can annotate it with your pen if you have one of these. A good solution. I used that for a while. But I was getting tired of using my hand to touch a screen, so I was still having to take my hand off the keyboard to turn the page. So, a bit more hunting around. I ended up buying an iPad, and on the iPad is an application called Fourschool, and this is what I use to display my music. So just like Mobile Sheets, you can indeed touch the screen with your finger and it will turn. And you can also annotate with your pencil. But what it does do, which Mobile Sheets does not do, is recognize facial gestures. And this is how I turn pages using this application. It was only after viewing a barely viewed YouTube video of someone demonstrating the face gesture feature in Fourschool that I decided to take the plunge and spend the £14.99 to buy it from the App Store. I couldn't really find anything else online about this feature. Couldn't find any demos, so I was a little bit dubious as to how well it would work. So not only did I have to pay almost £15 for the app, then have to pay another £9.49 for the Pro version of Fourschool. So you paid essentially £15 for the app itself, and then a further £10 a year for the Pro version. Okay, so I thought this is a bit of a gamble, but hey, it's only £10. If it's rubbish, at least I've tried it. But I'm glad I spent £10 on it, because it's blooming brilliant. So once you've paid your subscription, you then get access to the face gestures in Fourschool. Now there are two gestures which Fourschool allows you to use. Let's start with the one I don't use. Head turn. So this obviously works by, when I turn my head, it only seems to do it when I look left, right. There we go. It's because I wasn't quite central. The thing is, when you're using these gestures, you have to have the confidence in them that they're going to work. And look, being an organist, we're forever looking left, we're forever looking right, we're forever looking down, looking everywhere really. I think a head turn for an organist ain't going to do it. So the other alternative is mouth movement, and this is what I use. It recognises the way you move your mouth. You have to move your mouth, and this is going to be rather embarrassing for me to do, but you have to move your mouth left or right. So, by default, this invert button actually is turned off. It's not inverted. So watch these funny blobs on the screen here as I move my mouth. It's like a funny game or something, isn't it? Okay, so by default, if I just go back to the main screen here, and if I twitch my mouth right, the page will turn. And if I twitch it left, he says, it turns back. Just bear in mind I'm not quite sat central in front of the screen. Now, I thought instantly, tried it out, and I thought, I'm getting confused by this. Because as an organist, well, as a musician, music naturally flows from left to right. So the flow is from left to right, and by the time you get to the bottom here, onto the next page, the motion, the physical motion from your eyes and your head is from right to left. Now by default, these gestures are asking me to move my mouth to the right whilst my eyes and head are looking left. It's a bit like doing the old tummy and the head pat. It was all backwards for me. So luckily there isn't an invert button, which means that if I twitch my mouth to the left, the page turns, so my entire face, my mouth, my eyes and my head are all moving left as the page turns. To me that makes far more sense, and I'm surprised really that that isn't the default option. The good news is that you can calibrate it. You can turn the sensitivity up and down. I've turned the sensitivity for the right gesture right down because I rarely need to turn back in my music. It's always forwards. If there's a repeat, by the way, the application will allow me to replicate the previous pages on the next page. So that's how I get around that little conundrum.
Сколько вы зарабатываете? Вот у вас какой средний доход в месяц?
Ну, 2-5 миллионов.
В городе Казани живет парень, который 18 лет сколотил себе состояние. Потом он сколотил целый дом для своих родителей. Потом он стал обеспечивать всю семью, поскольку действительно хорошо зарабатывает. Как? Давайте посмотрим сюжет.
До сих пор частный майнинг и обмен биткоинов находятся под запретом. Безопасный вход в эту сферу есть только у юридических лиц. Поэтому Ивановский решил зарегистрировать компанию, в рамках которой...
Well, I'll be honest with you.
Но почему бы нет? Видишь, ну ты уже не будешь ничем заниматься.
There are times
как минимум.
when
И этим тоже заниматься надо будет,
work.
причем, да, интересно, да. Да, понимаю, это. И, скорее всего, да, понимаю, да.
I'm the sort of person who, if I'm playing and anything happens around me and my concentration is taken away from the music, I find that really off-putting. Which is why sometimes I prefer to just turn my own pages, even if it's with sheet music.
Деньги это плохо.
Do it myself, I know what I'm doing. If it doesn't respond, it can be off-putting. You have to get used to it, you have to get used to how much you move your mouth, and also how far in advance to do it. You don't want to, it's so quick, it's so instant. You know, with a page turner, you have to have that sort of action, reaction type thing. Yes, please. There it is. But with this, it's twitch, you know, instantly turn. The only slight drawback about using the iPad for the facial recognition feature is it uses, which is obvious, it's going to, isn't it? It's obviously going to use the front camera, which on the iPad, by default, is on the top. I find, though, and again, this is a bit of a problem really with where your physical head is at the time when you're on the last bar of the page. Naturally, as a player, you're going to be looking down towards that last final bar rather than looking, unless you're wearing glasses and you like to look down under the bottom of them, you're going to be looking down. So the camera won't be able to see your mouth. Let's try it. work. So, the annoying thing, it would be fine if the power button wasn't on the bottom, because this happens all the time. So yes, I would highly recommend buying Fourschool. It's 15 quid in the UK, or just short of, and a tenner for the yearly subscription. Well worth the money, in my view. So when you next see me on the channel twitching my mouth, I don't just have an itch or something stuck in the beard. That's just the standard given scenario. I'm actually turning the page. Look out next time you see me play. It looks rather funny, but it works a dream.
Funny.
Всем здорово, народ, с вами я, Мануэль. Сегодня мы...
Закладку что? Ты что, закладку мне 20? Закладку-то не дашь, что ли, мне сделать?
Hi everyone, I'm Philip Rothman with Scoring Notes, the website for music notation software and related technology. I'm here